Hey, deep divers. You know, we love to unpack some interesting stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
And today we're looking at a story that might kind of flip what you think about when you think about Trump country.
Right.
So,
On its head a little.
yeah, we're going to dive deep into one woman's experience in rural Michigan where she decided to wear a Harris Walls hat in public.
Interesting.
So before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.
Definitely leave a comment, too.
And comment. Yeah, tell us what you think as we go along.
We love hearing from you.
All right, so to get us started, this woman's name is Willow Alshama,
Okay.
and she is a Democrat living in Leelanau County, Michigan. So they push pickup trucks.
Yeah, like heart of Trump.
Heart of Trump country. And Willow decided to wear a Harris Walls hat in public.
Now that's brave,
I know.
right?
But what happened next wasn't exactly what you might expect.
No, you think you'd get a lot of backlash in a place like that.
Right.
Some side-eye, for sure.
But instead, she got a lot of support
Totally. So,
from some unexpected places.
yeah, from some unexpected places. So she actually experienced some support.
Yeah, and even from some women who
Like a lot of
had
support.
previously been pretty vocal Trump supporters.
I know, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
So.
It's like it really challenges our ideas about how divided we are.
Totally. Like, are we really that divided? So let's get into, like, what happened.
Yeah, let's hear about her experience.
So Willow was driven by what she called a moral imperative to wear this hat.
Mm.
And she went to all the usual places, right? She went to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
She went to the tavern.
Wow.
She went to the gas station.
She wasn't hiding.
No, she wasn't hiding at all. And you'd expect some, like,
Fireworks.
fireworks, yeah.
Heated debates.
Yeah, like maybe even an argument or two.
Right. At least some dirty looks.
Yeah, but instead she's getting thumbs up.
What?
I know.
Okay, signs.
No way.
Yeah, and even from a woman who had like giant Trump signs in her yard.
Wow. So this is like someone she knew was a Trump supporter.
Yeah, like a vocal Trump supporter.
That's wild. What was she doing at the gas station? Filling up her
I don't know.
pickup truck?
Yeah, and get this.
What?
This woman's home, which used to be decked out in Trump signs,
Uh-huh.
is now totally bare.
It took them all down.
I know. Like, what happened? Did she just, like, go undercover overnight?
Yeah, is she like a secret agent or something?
Right. It's just a really fascinating detail.
It makes you wonder why she would do that.
Totally.
Like, was it because she was afraid of something? Or
Yeah, or like,
did she actually change her mind about Trump?
right, or is she just trying to, like, avoid conflict?
Yeah,
Like, keep a low profile.
Guy under the radar.
Right.
Interesting.
It's a good question. So Willow's not alone in this experience.
Really?
She shared her story on TikTok, and it blew up.
Oh, wow.
All these women, particularly in like the key swing states, were flooding her comments with similar stories.
About wearing Harris Walls gear and...
Yeah. About getting unexpected support for like Biden and Harris.
So this wasn't just like a one-off thing.
Yeah.
This is like a pattern.
It seems like it, right?
This is interesting. So do you think this is like a sign of a silent consensus among women voters?
Ooh, I like that silent consensus.
Yeah, you've got all of these people who maybe aren't like shouting their political views from the rooftops,
Right.
but they're still voting,
Right.
and their votes matter.
Totally.
Like maybe they're just not as loud about it as some other people.
Yeah, and in this case, it seems like women are making their voices heard, even if it's in like a less obvious way.
Right, like they're not necessarily wearing the Magia hats,
Right.
but they're definitely making their presence known.
Totally.
Yeah.
So is this like a shift? Like, are we seeing a shift among women voters?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
is there a silent rebellion brewing beneath the surface?
Ooh, I like that silent rebellion. It's a good question.
So are we seeing like a potential change in how women are voting?
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
And if so...
And if so, it could have a huge impact on the election.
Okay, but hold on, deep divers, because this is where it gets even more interesting.
Oh, boy.
Buckle up. I'm ready. Because as Willow's driving to a Walls rally
Okay.
in a nearby county,
Uh-huh.
she drives right past a huge Trump sign and a big ol' rally,
Right.
all decked out MAGA hats, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, wow. So she's seeing both sides of this.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like these two totally different worlds just kind of bumping up against each other.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
Yeah. Wow.
On one hand, you've got those little hints that things might be changing,
Yeah, those subtle little signs of change.
like a quiet sort of defiance.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, bam,
This in-your-face pro-Trump energy.
Yeah, like, no, we're still here.
Exactly right.
It really shows just how complicated things are.
Yeah, it really highlights how multifaceted the political landscape is. Like,
Yeah.
even in a place like Leelanau County, which everyone thinks of as, like, super conservative.
Right.
There's a whole spectrum of opinions.
Yeah.
A whole range of beliefs that you can't just ignore.
You can't just write people off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's step back for a second, look at the history here.
Okay.
I mean, Leelanau County, like a lot of rural areas, it's got deep conservative roots.
Yeah, think agriculture, small businesses,
Okay.
a strong sense of community.
Yeah.
And traditionally, they haven't been too keen on big government intervention.
Right. Like they want the government to stay out of their business.
Exactly.
Okay.
And historically,
Yeah.
that's translated into support for conservative candidates
Right.
and conservative policies.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then 2016 rolls around.
Right.
And Donald Trump's message really hits home with a lot of people in these areas.
Totally.
Like his populist rhetoric, his focus on economic anxiety,
Yeah.
his promise to drain the swamp,
Drain the swamp.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
It really connected with voters who felt like they'd been left behind,
Yeah.
ignored by the political establishment.
Like the elites.
Exactly. It was like he was speaking directly to their concerns, their frustrations.
Like finally someone gets me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that created a fierce loyalty among his supporters.
Like ride or die.
Right. A loyalty that we've seen is pretty darn resilient.
Like through thick and thin.
Yeah, even with all the political chaos.
Yeah. Wow. So to see even a tiny bit of change in a place like Leelanau County, that's got to mean something.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah.
It suggests that maybe some issues
Like what?
like women's rights and reproductive health care,
Okay.
they're starting to transcend those traditional party lines.
Interesting.
Like those issues are hitting too close to home.
Yeah.
They're becoming impossible to ignore,
Well,
even for people who might have been diehard Trump supporters before.
Like I said, those kitchen table issues.
We's
The
at.
stuff that affects you every day.
Yeah, think about those little gestures of support that Willow got.
Like the thumbs up.
Yeah, the thumbs up, the okay signs.
Okay.
Could those be signs of things changing?
Yeah.
A silent protest against policies that are impacting women's lives directly?
Right. Like maybe they can't say it out loud,
Yeah.
but their actions speak volumes.
Exactly. Like they're saying, look, I might not agree with everything,
Uh-huh.
but this is where I draw the line.
This is my limit.
Right. And the fact that these reactions were mostly from women, that's not a coincidence.
No.
Women have always been a major force in elections.
Yeah.
Like throughout history, they've often been the ones to tip the scales. And it seems like in 2024,
Yeah.
they might be a key factor again.
Powerful voting bloc.
Right. But let's be clear.
Okay.
We're not saying that there's going to be this mass exodus from the Republican Party
Right.
in these rural areas.
Uh-huh.
It's way more complicated than that.
More nuanced.
Exactly.
Uh.
It's about recognizing how complex things are. The fact that even in places that seem really homogenous,
Yeah.
there's actually a whole bunch of different opinions.
Right. Like you can't just make assumptions about people.
Yeah, exactly.
Based on where they live or what you think their beliefs are.
Right. It's about understanding that political beliefs aren't set in stone.
Oh.
They change, they evolve.
Right.
They're influenced by personal experiences, by current events.
Yeah.
Heck, maybe even by a TikTok video or two.
Right. You never know.
Exactly. And this brings us back to that question we asked earlier.
About whether small actions can make a difference.
Yeah. Can seemingly insignificant things like Willow wearing that hat, can that actually spark a bigger movement?
Yeah.
Can her choice to start those conversations,
Yeah.
can that have a ripple effect that goes beyond just her little community?
Like a butterfly effect.
Exactly, because what we're seeing here in Trump country, it might just be a tiny snapshot of a much larger shift that's happening all across the country. A shift that's being driven by women who are finding their voices,
Yeah.
or making sure that their concerns are heard,
Right.
and maybe even reshaping the whole political landscape in the process.
It's pretty amazing. All right, deep divers. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Trump country today, let's talk about what this all means.
Yeah, like what can we learn from all this?
Like what can we learn from Willow's experience?
Yeah, and this potential shift we're seeing among women voters.
Exactly.
Well, one of the big takeaways here is that individual actions, they really do matter.
Yeah.
Like Willow's decision to wear that Harris Walls hat,
Right.
to like visibly show her beliefs, even in a place where those beliefs might not be popular, that sparked conversations.
Yeah.
And it might have even influenced some people.
Totally. It's a good reminder that even small acts of courage,
Yeah.
like standing up for what you believe in, can make a difference.
It can have a ripple effect.
Exactly.
And it also shows us how important it is to listen to those quieter voices.
Yeah.
The people who might not be shouting their political views,
Right.
but whose votes can totally change the outcome of an election.
Like we were saying, that silent consensus.
Exactly.
It's happening on a national level.
Yeah, this isn't just a Leelanau County thing.
Right. It's not just a rural Michigan thing.
There's this growing feeling that certain issues, especially the ones that directly affect women's lives,
Yeah.
they're starting to break free from those traditional party lines.
They're transcending those old categories.
Exactly.
So, like, what kind of issues are we talking about here?
Well, think about the rising cost of childcare,
Okay.
access to affordable health care, concerns about reproductive rights.
Right, those kitchen table issues.
Exactly, the stuff that affects people's everyday lives.
Yeah.
And these issues resonate with women from all walks of life.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what your political party is.
Exactly.
Everyone cares about these things.
Right, and it seems like more and more women are putting these issues front and center
Yeah.
when they're deciding who to vote for.
They're saying these are my priorities.
Exactly, and that's a powerful force.
It's a force to be reckoned with.
It reminds us that the political landscape is always changing.
Right.
We can't just rely on old assumptions or stereotypes
Yeah.
to figure out how people are going to vote.
Like, we can't just look at someone and say, oh, I know how you're going to vote.
Right. People are more complex than that.
Way more nuanced.
Exactly.
Okay, so deep divers, as we head into this 2024 election, remember this.
What's that?
Don't underestimate the power of your own voice,
Yeah.
your own actions.
Like Willow wearing that hat.
Right, exactly. Like, engage in those tough conversations, even if they make you a little uncomfortable.
Right. Step outside your comfort zone.
Exactly. And challenge your own assumptions.
Yeah, don't just assume you know everything.
Be open to new perspectives.
Because change often starts in the most unexpected places. With the quietest voices.
Like those thumbs up at the gas station.
Exactly. And those voices together, they can create a wave of change
Wow.
that transforms the whole political landscape.
That's amazing. So, deep divers, that's it for a deep dive today.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We hope this gave you something to think about.
Yeah.
And don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah, smash that like button.
Subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment letting us know what you think.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep diving deep.